The thing that I'll never forget is the lady that I met at a medical clinic. She was a physician, she was an AIDS researcher, lovely lady, well-spoken, and she was really interested in what we were doing in her country. And in fact, she decided to come with us to a dedication for a small library the following day, next to a refugee village. And we got to the church, and it was before the dedication, and we decided to take a little walk through the refugee village. And this place was bad. I mean, it was every bit as bad as the things you see on late night TV where they ask you to send money to support a child. I mean, it was mud huts and made out of sticks and tin roofs. And to top it off, it was raining that day. And the red clay soil was wet, and there were children with hardly any clothes walking around in this soil. And we saw women that were just trying to protect themselves. And after that, we walked back to the dedication, and as we sat in that church, I asked that physician, Dr. Jennifer, I said, "Doesn't this bother you, the fact to see your own people from your own country living this way?" She says, "No." She says, "It really doesn't." She says, "Actually, I'm an orphan, and I grew up in a village very similar to this. And if it weren't for the generosity of a group that came in and helped me pay for books and got me uniforms so I could go to school, I'd still be living in that same village." And what that told me is that the people of Africa, they're not looking for a new house. They don't care if they have a cell phone or a new car. They just want a chance to get an education and to make a better life for themselves and for their kids. They're hard workers, they're good people, and I'm glad that we can help them.
Well, it was a Rotary Friendship Exchange, and rather than being on a tour where you go in a hotel room at night and close your door, you stay with families, and so you are immersed in their culture. We were helping families cook. We'd sit around the table at night, talk about politics, religion, whatever, raising kids, and so it was an opportunity to experience. Some of the houses we stayed in were, I'd say, lush. Other ones were very basic. But we were welcomed by everyone in every home that we went into. So I'd say staying with families is the way to travel, which we like to do. Another thing that stuck out in my head were the kids. There were kids everywhere, and their kids are universal. They like to laugh, sing, play. And we saw so many orphans wherever we went, and they melted your heart. But it was encouraging what the Rotary clubs in Africa are doing to help with education and clean water and orphanages and medical care. So the kids were outstanding. We'd like to go back and work in the orphanages. And then the other thing was we didn't just look at the slums from the tour bus that we were on a van, but a tour bus, but we walked through the slums. We talked to the people. They're a city unto itself, and we learned how they operate, and got to talk to people, and we always felt very safe. We were just overwhelmed by the poverty. But again, we were there with Rotarians who are doing things in the slums to make a difference wherever they can.
I think one of the things that stuck out so much in my mind is the people had a real respect for each other. Didn't make too much difference whether they were political or economically different. You could have the rich guy living in the big house, or the fellow who lives in a little shack with cardboard sides on it, right next to each other, and yet they cooperated very well with each other.
Probably the biggest thing that stands out is I know it's a scary thing to go to a different country, and I think I was not prepared for how friendly Rotarians truly are. Every location we went to, we were welcomed, not with handshakes, but, well, there was a Ugandan handshake, which was very interesting, but we were greeted with hugs. And there was an instant camaraderie, and there was just an instant kinship and friendship that was just evident from the start. We felt like we were amongst friends the minute that we met. I must say that Uganda, above all, impressed me. It was a country of lushness. It was just green, almost like the Caribbean. And it amazed me how sustainable everything was. The folks there garden, they live off the land. They are very cognizant of their resources, and they really do use everything twice, 3 times over and over again. And as an environmentalist, that really impressed me. We went to a cultural night, and the speaker who was the master of ceremonies was just this really dynamic guy. And he was talking about skin color, about how East Africans vary in color from very dark until very light. And he, of course, since we were all sitting in the audience, had said to us that he really felt bad for us because God seems to have run out of paint. But maybe if he feels blessed enough about us, that he'll come back and finish the job.
Africa always was a place for me where you don't really want to go because it's scary and it's big and there are wild animals. And having the opportunity to go on a friendship exchange with Rotary really opened the door there. It's a great country, they're friendly people, and I really started admiring Africa. Also, what really struck me is that this friendship exchange really works. I made a lot of friends there. We were welcome in the Rotary families, and also it opened my eyes how big Rotary is, because for my little Rotary club at home, we are a great organization, but we're really small. We help our town, and this showed me how it's really worldwide, and it was amazing to see how big Rotary is and how big functions are. But also being so far away from home, seeing the problems of the people are generally all the same. The main things have to be, you have to have a happy family life, and you have food on the table for the kids, and schooling and education. And if those needs are met, then happiness can come. And I think that was a great thing to see. Problems are everywhere, here and there, and we are not that different. We are kind of humankind, and we are the same. And that was really a striking experience for me, and Rotary really pulls the world together, and I think to be in such a wonderful club.